as I was saying, these are all rubber trees, and Henry Ford set up two large-scale plantations. The first one was in Fort Land, 18 hours by boat from upstream the Tapajós River from Santarém. This one he started in the 1920s. And then he set up another large-scale plantation here in Belterra, over 1 million trees planted for the production of latex for the manufacture of tires during the Second World War. And according to him and researchers, the plantation failed because it was difficult to develop disease-resistant species at that time. Of course, there are many other reasons, factors that were not clarified, you know. And but the main point here is that the plantation of rubber latex caused a big impact in our economy. People who were recruited from several regions of Brazil, but the massive migration was from the northern part of Brazil. You know, people who were recruited to work in this area, they were very well paid, but you know, we had a lot of problems with, as I said, with diseases. Malaria was one of the main problems. We had problems with serpents, with insects, and so forth. You know, the production today of latex in our region is still significant, you know, and they do it by hand. It's still done by hand. One of the procedures that has changed dramatically was the method for coagulation of latex. You know, at that time they used to tap the tree and set up a fire, you know, and 2 pieces of stick, fork-ended, and another stick set horizontally, wrapped up with old cloth, and then they would pour the latex and rotate the piece of cloth, and the latex would impregnate in the old cloth, turn in the liquid into a ball, the sap into a ball, until it reached the size the tapper wanted. Today they use chemicals to coagulate the liquid, you know. And the tapper used to collect tap at least 120 trees per day.
Wow.
You know, they had this very special knife. It's a pity we don't have a professional tapper here, but they had this special knife, which was a piece of metal, a flat piece of metal, bent over, which had a V-shape, like a V-shape with a wooden handle, and to tap it. And they had, I'm gonna get closer to the rubber too. The tap I used to make with this special knife, one main vertical channel, you know, with this special knife. You're gonna have a chance to see it, you know, in Manaus. And then either one cut or 2 per day, you know. For all the tapping process, they would need a main vertical channel, and then if they tap just on one side, 1 cut per day, that tapping style would be called flag tapping style. Or if they had the main vertical channel and 2 cuts per tapping, they would have the fishbone tapping style. The tappers prefer to use the flag tapping style because they would do 1 cut per day and collect a cupful of latex. And after 6 months, they would leave this side alone and would shift to the other one. And working for 6 months on the other side. After they finished the 6 months, the one they had worked previously were ready to be tapped again. So they would keep on alternating. And a good rubber tree would produce latex for up to 50, sometimes 60 years. They would keep on producing latex.
And how much per day?
A cupful per day. A good, very, very good tree would produce a liter, but most of them just a cupful, half a liter per day.
And Jairo, after you planted the tree, how many years before you could start tapping?
Well, these ones were, they were grown wild, but after 7, 8 years of age, they were ready to be tapped.
So he was tapping into the 40s. I'm talking about Ford.
He was implantation. You mean implantation? 3.5 to 5 years.
That's it.
Yeah, in wild 7 years. 7 years.
The people who live here now, what's their main labor? Do they do soy farming or ranching?
In this area, farming, soy farming, or regular farming, farming for manioc. That's the main activity. Farming for manioc for the flour and the byproducts. You know, soy and rice is something very recent, with the massive migration of southern farmers. You know, the local people, they have been farming for manioc, for rice. In small scale, beans and some fruit trees, you know, but for their own consumption, and the excess they normally sell in the market we saw today, but normally for their own consumption. But the majority of the population in villages like this, they live on the pension of the older people, the elderly, you know, and some of them work for the municipal government. I would say that over 30% of the population work for the municipal government, either on the healthcare system or educational system, but they work for the government. And we have a smaller percentage working for the state government, and even smaller one for the federal government.
And the unemployment level is relatively low in a village like this, or is
and
it
village
high?
formal employment is, I mean, they do not consider themselves unemployed because the offer of formal employment is low, you know, slow. They normally make their living on their own. They have an autonomous activities, most of them. Selling things, they have a small grocery store, or they have their farm, or they do some fishing. We are closer to the Tapajós River too, you know.
Could you tell me again why Henry Ford failed? Why he had
Well, according to researchers, it was because of one of the arguments that he used was that it was difficult to develop disease-resistant species of rubber trees at that time. That's what he said.
Now, they got the rubber here. Did they actually make the tires here?
No. The rubber latex, today the production here is exported to São Paulo. At that time it was exported to Manaus, where it was processed. But we have no manufacturing in this area itself. Most of the production, the raw material, is exported to the southern part of Brazil, at that time abroad. You know.
São Paulo, how far?
Distance 5,000 kilometers from here.
That's a long way away.
Long way.
The process of vulcanization, which allowed rubber to last much longer, I wonder when rubber began to be processed by vulcanization process. Was it that was just before World War II?
That's when he got together with Goodrich and
These trees don't look like they got disease. Are they diseased?
Well, actually, these probably these
to read that book for land.
natural ones. But when you plant in large scale, of course, disease will proliferate because you are planting in large scale. The ones my grandfather used to tap, they were healthy ones because they grew out in the jungle. You know, the reason why they use this V-shaped knife is because the latex is in a very thin membrane between the bark and the wood. You know, by using this special knife, they hit only the bark of the tree. You know, if you hit the wood, and then you'll be providing easy access for insects, you know, to proliferate and damage the plantation.
I have a question
Yes,
about
ma'am.
this.
There's termites up there.
Termite nest. This is a green seed of a rubber tree. Look, they come in capsules containing up to 3 seeds in it, you know, and by December, January they get dry and they explode, casting the nuts away up to 10, 15 meters.
Trying to get a photo of it.
Trying to
Keep
get a
moving
seed.
it.
You get a seed there,
Can you get it, try?
Oh, you can take it off?
gather a seed, and
This one is green. It's we're not gonna get it. It's inside in the capsule.
so if I plant this, I'll have a rubber tree?
Yes. They get brown when they arrive, and they along the
so we can get a
riverbanks.
photo of it. That's
They are
what
the
I was
favorite
trying to
food
get it on
of
the
the
tree.
Characino, tambaqui. They fish
Thank
and
you.
show in the back of the truck in front of them. You know, the favorite fruit of the favorite food for the tambaqui comes from the rubber tree. Along the riverbanks, fishermen with a fishing line, they would attach to the seeds to a fishing pole, and they hit the water to imitate the sounds to attract the fish.
The manioc gardens, do they use many different varieties, or do they?
Method for fishing?
No. For you were talking earlier about growing manioc. And I've read that some manioc are varying to help with prevention of insect invasion.
The